Hello, everyone. So, once again, I'm here in the series of the webinar. This is the sixth session of the webinar, and we will have a quickly recap what we have done in this webinar. So, let me quickly share my screen, and then we'll start the discussion about the webinar. So, as I mentioned that we are at the session 6, and here we are going to talk about the introduction phase of the product life cycle. See, introduction phase is very important. If we are doing the right launch of the product, then definitely there is a chances that product will thrive. So again, this session is based upon my book Pivot with Purpose, and this is talking about the product life cycle, and it will be helpful for all the startups or the product person how to iterate the product till the revival or the declining stage. What are the strategic things, strategic decisions need to be taken during this journey, right? So let's deep dive into the agenda of today's Connect. Today, first, we'll have a quick recap of the sessions, whatever we had done previously. After that, we'll discuss about the launch plan strategy. Now, till the last session, we have done the feasibility study, 5-day design sprint, validated with the product before the production itself, that how people will take it. And now we are at the launch. So, what should be our launch strategy? How to set up the right goal, how to write the OKR, and at the end we'll discuss about the value pyramid. See, what is the value which we are going to deliver? As per the Simon Sinek, people don't buy your product. People buy your product. The what is the why behind the product? Let's see. Let's deep dive into more detail. So far, we have covered after the fundamental about the ideation and inception. We discussed about the feasibility study, planning, understanding the viability, sustainability, all these things. We discussed about the roadmap. We discussed about the design thinking tools like customer journey map, the practical implementation of customer journey map, story map. We discussed about the user persona, empathy map. So there are a lot of design thinking tool we have discussed. Also, we discussed during the last session the importance of lean UI UX. It is not about delivering the more features. It is all about delivering the valuable feature for the customer. And now we are in the phase of introduction and growth. So let's see what are the key elements of the introduction. In this phase, we are actually introducing our product to market, and we are looking towards the growth of the product. Let's see. So this is somewhere between the introduction phase and the growth phase of the product life cycle. So we will see what we need to do in this session for the introduction of the product in the market. What are the things which we need to understand? So let's start with plan strategy. Why the planning of the strategy or the launch plan strategy is important? I'll come to the point what should be the factors whenever we are planning the launch strategy. Why this is required? Because it helps in improving in coordination, maximizing impact, risk mitigation, and the alignment, right? So it coordinates various activities from marketing to logistics. So coordination is whenever we are launching a product, it is not about just product launch the product. We need to understand what are the channel. I hope you remember last to last session, we discussed about product journey canvas. There we discussed about what are the channel, how are we planning to reach to the customer, what will be the medium to get the feedback from the customer. So during the launch phase, we should be consider all these things in mind. Whenever we have a very good launch plan, it will help in improving the coordination overall. It is not about the product development only. Product development is just a small aspect of the product. The major aspect also is what is the my upstream, what is the my downstream, how am I connecting to the my customer, how am I getting the feedback. All of these things will come into the picture. Also, this strategy will help in maximizing the impact. We understand then we are debuting our product. We are excited. How to create that excitement within the customer, within the target audience. So it will also help in maximizing the impact. Next section is risk mitigation. See, whenever we are launching a product, it's a huge risk which we are taking, right? So it helps to identify the potential risk, potential challenges, and we can plan the strategy in advance. And overall, it's a alignment within the team and stakeholders. Product launch is not just a small event. You have to stitch a lot of things. How your web portal will look like, what messaging you are passing. There are different stakeholders involved. What is the support system? Whenever there is a request come, there is an issue or there is a defect, how will you address that? All these strategies should be defined even before launching, because after launching you will not have much time to work on that. So that's why launch plan will help you to understand or in the coordination, maximizing impact of your product, mitigating the risk and alignment with the team and key stakeholders. Now let's see what are the components for the strategic launch plan. So here are few. One point is clearly defined objective. It should be specific. It should be measurable. That outline with the strategy aim to achieve. So it should be relate with our strategic objective or strategic goal as well. So what is the organization goal? What is the objective of this product? And how are we outlining or the success of these objectives? We will discuss deep dive into more this part in next couple of slides when we will discuss about the OKR. In the strategic plan, we should be clearly articulating who is our target audience, which is the specific group to whom we are targeting, to whom we are reaching out, what messaging and positioning we want. Is our positioning as a market leader, or we want to replace some product, or we want to increase our footprint at particular geographical area? So the key messages and unique value propositions should be there. You remember there is a ICIC Prudential advertisement. Few days, I think 4 or 5 years back, basically, there was a marriage, and with the during that ceremony, they relate this ceremony with the insurance document to protect the family. What messaging they want to share, right? What positioning they want to have. They want to create an emotional touch as well. There is a the marriage is an important aspect, and if there is any mishappening, then it should be relate with some different messaging to the different people. Channels and platform. What are the channels? What are the medias? How this message will go out? What will be the platform? Even if you will see right now, the movie promotion is happening, most of the time it's in a reality show or on YouTube basically. We need to understand the timeline and milestones, a schedule, key dates, whenever we are planning to achieve this thing. And we deep dive into this part during our last session as well when we discussed about the roadmap. Budget allocation. See, everywhere, whatever activity you will do, it will require some amount of budget. So, budget allocation should be happening in an intelligent way to cover that what we need to do, from where we are getting the more potential or more customer, and accordingly we have to plan the budget allocation. Create market collaterals. What are the documentation, brochures, videos, press release? There may be some programs and session required to equip team members. You have to set up the support team as well. They should be well aware about the product. They should understand that what are the potential problems may come into the product and what can be the potential solution. And at the end, testing, the process of evaluating different element of the strategy. So whatever is the different element of the strategy, we should be having a evaluation process to test those even before full scale implementation. These are the common component of strategic launch plan whenever we are planning to launch a product into the market. See if we are meeting this criteria or not. Now, let's deep dive into the next part, which I mentioned that we'll discuss about OKR. First of all, what is OKR? So, it's a, as it is looking into the slide, it's a objective and key results. So, this is O, K, and R. OKR is a goal setting framework that connect organizational vision to individual and team actions. So I'm quoting this definition. OKR is a goal setting framework that connects organizational vision to individual and team actions. How? Or let's first why? Because it brings the clarity. You'll be able to focus on that. It will helpful in aligning across the team because we have one objective and one key result, one objective, and there can be multiple key results. People are aware that what I need to do, and it encourages ambitious thinking. You can think, okay, we have to reach there. Our objective is to become to cater the 30% market gap in next 3 months. It's ambitious, this objective, right? So people stay focused together to achieve something larger. It is seen from based upon some psychological study. If people have some objective and they are working on something which they will achieve very good or the high one, they are always motivated and they work in a better collaboration. Less conflicts will be there. Origin of this concept was from Intel, and this is coming from Antigro, and later it was adapted by Google, LinkedIn, or even Microsoft as well. A lot of organization achieve, and right now a lot of organization are following this goal setting framework. So the it aligned with the vision. Based upon the vision, we create an objective. Based on objective, we create a quantifiable result, that is key result. So this is OKR, and based upon this, we can move towards the outcome. During next couple of slides, we will deep dive into OKR and we will see some real examples as well. Now, what is great OKR? As I mentioned previously as well, it should be inspirational, qualitative, and time bound. So objective should be inspirational, it should be qualitative and time bound. Within next quarter or within Q3, we want to achieve this thing. We want our positioning to be here. It is inspirational. It's a time bound. We are talking about the quarter. And the key result should be how are we going to that space? It should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. In nutshell, the key result should be smart and it should be having some quantification so that we should be able to measure how are we moving towards the key towards this objective. We can have 3 to 5 key results per objective. The key result should be challenging. On the other hand, it should be achievable as well. It should not happen that it's not achievable and then the inspiration and motivation will go down from the team. And everyone should be able to see those OKR in the organization. People should be aware that from where we are moving from where to where we want to be. So OKR should be visible to the organization. Let's see one example of OKR. Successful launch of product X in Q3. That is our OKR. This is our objective basically. So as I mentioned, OKR is having two parts. One is objective and another is key result. How will measure this? How will measure this word successful? To measure this, there should be some key result tagged with this objective 3 to 5 key results. Let's see some example of the key result with respect to this objective. Acquire 1000 paying users within next 3 months. Okay, so this is one of the key results. We are acquiring 1000 users who are paying for the particular product. Then there is a quiet criteria, then we'll be successful. That's the one key result which we want to achieve. Achieve 90% satisfaction in initial feedback. So whatever initial feedback we are taking in Q3, that should be the 90% users should be satisfied with the product. Complete all major feature rollout by launch day. Whenever we are going to launch the product, all major features should be completed, right? So as an organization we can always consider, okay, this is our objective, successful launch product X in Q3. If we are meeting these results or we are moving towards these results, then we'll say we are successful, right? It is a very strategic goal written goal formation method, basically goal setting framework, where we are connecting with the strategy and how that strategy will convert on the ground is key result. And based upon the key result, we will get the outcome as I mentioned in the previous slide. Clear OKR during launch means fewer surprises, faster learning and stronger market entry. We know what we need to do. We know where we want to be. We understand if in the first half of the, if we were considering that every month we should be getting 300 to 400 users, paying users. Okay, if we are not doing good in 1 month, we'll get to know that we are not doing good with this particular objective. If satisfaction rate is low, we will do something to increase that satisfaction ratio. So again, so that's why fewer surprises, because we get to know that where we want to be. Faster learning, we know what point we are lacking, and stronger market entry. Because this is inspiration. People are working towards that, right? So this is OKR, and OKR is a very important framework, and we should always have before launch that what objective we want to achieve and how we are going to achieve those objective and what are the key results. So now we have created a launch strategy, we have created the goal. Now we need to understand we are going into the market. Now we need to understand what matters to our customer. Although we have done created user persona, we have created customer journey map, we have seen what are the touch point with the customer journey, what is the empathy, for what we are empathizing, we have done that thing. But now it's a time to define the value pyramid, what value we are going to provide to our customer, what is top of the pyramid and what is the bottom of the pyramid. So this concept is based upon Maslow's hierarchy of need, basically, where we were talking about what is the basic need, what is the self-actualization need, all these things. But we will see in a different pattern with respect to product here. And remember one thing, people are not buying what you do. People are buying why you do it. This quote I am taking from the book Start With Why from the well-known writer Simon Sinek. How to get that why? And this value pyramid will help us to understand why. We have two value pyramid, one B2C and another is B2B. We will deep dive into B2C value pyramid and we will see that what are the things which create more value to the customer, to the end user. B2C is whenever it's a business to consumer value pyramid. There are certain basic things to achieve. Those are functional things. Functional things. I'm buying a product which will simplify something for me. I'll be able to make money. I'll be able to reduce risk. I'll be able to reduce cost. The quality will improve. There are different kind of variety. It will reduce my effort. These are functional things. Let's take an example of the mobile. In case of mobile, what are the functional things? It will save my time. It will simplify my process. I'll be able to reduce the risk. Information will be on my tip. These are the functional aspect which at the first go people can see, okay, these are the functional things which I am going to achieve. That is functional value. After the functional value, so we need to see our customer, okay, we are delivering the functional value, what else? The next is emotional value. Am I able to deliver emotional value to my customer? Am I able to deliver the wellness to my customer? Is it fun or entertainment of using this application people are having? Is my product attractive? It is reducing the anxiety. It is rewarding to the customer. As a customer, if some of these things are matching, not all the things will be matched for each other. I'll be emotionally connect with my product. One part is functional. Functional is something that is the feature that I'm paying for that and I'm getting that feature, I'm utilizing those features. Emotional is something more than functional, it is providing to me so that I'm emotionally connect with this product. There is another aspect, or we can say next aspect, as I mentioned, Islam Maslow need hierarchy. Life changing. Is there any way, any possibility that this product will change my life? Is this something which will motivate me in my life? Something, some hope is there. This is a life changing kind of thing. Is my product is changing the life? Truly, a product may not be in each and every dimensions, but see what is the messaging we are passing to the customer. There is a product in India, FMCG product, the Mama Earth. They created their product, they will change the life. They are purely herbal or something like they are taking care of the plants or that kind of stuff, taking care of earth. There is a message. There is social impact we are creating. If you will buy this one piece and we will plant a tree, people will see if I will utilize this product, I am part of the larger good thing, larger good for this earth. Every product you will purchase, we will donate this much amount to the child education in a particular country. So, one part we discuss about the functional, emotional, life changing, and social impact. Again, every product may not be moving towards the functional to social impact, but we need to see, especially from the messaging point of view, or obviously we should be like taking care of those things as well for the larger good of the society. The functional that should be there, emotional, our emotional connect should be there. Are we changing the life of the customer and what social impact it is creating? Once you are part of, you are attached with the social connect, you are more motivated. So this is the B2B value pyramid. We need to understand why people buy this product. Why are we developing this product? There are a lot of examples for this where why is so strong. Apple changed the status quo. If we'll talk about TEDx, they are talking about the transformation, change in the people's life, right? So this is B2C pyramid, functional, emotional, life changing, and social impact. Similarly, there is a B2B pyramid. So this is with the reference of we are talking, we have a product which is B2B product, business to business product. So we need to see what is on this what is on the table, what is on the stake, what is the functional value, that is economic or performance. Are we reducing the cost to the customer, less amount, or are we improving the performance of the customer? And after that, ease of doing business, productivity, access, relationship, and these are the operational one and these are the strategic one. So if we are in B2B relationship, are we improving or improving the doing of business for our customer? Are we supporting in that? What is individual value? That may be from the career point of view, personal point of view, in B2B reference. And overall inspirational value. What is the higher purpose? What is the social responsibility? Oh, so consider all these things, especially whenever we are working on a product, we need to think about the B2C value pyramid very intelligently, and we need to see how are we, where are we. Functional is not this sufficient thing to thrive into the market. We need to see the emotional, life changing, and social impact aspect as well. And we will able to work on this dimension. We will able to promote our product in a better way, and our customer will also relate the success, social impact, or the life changing element with the product. The long lasting association of the product with customer will also be there, right? So, wrapping up the today's session, we discussed about strategy to value. First, we discussed about the launch plan strategy. What is the well articulated, well structured launch plan? What should be the element for that? We discussed OKR, objective key results. So, it is derived from the vision. We create an objective. When we will say this objective we are meeting, there should be 3 to 5 key results per objective. Whenever we start achieving the key result, we can say that how much we are moving towards our objective, and based upon that, we can determine the outcome. So, this is another goal setting framework which is considering the strategy at the one end and at the other end the outcome. After that, we discussed about the value pyramid, especially B2C value pyramid. We deep dive into all four aspects. What is the functional, emotional, life changing, or social impact? Overall, we covered today's, and we will keep doing this webinar every Sunday. And in the next webinar, we'll be discussing about the brand messaging. We'll be discussing about different aspect of. So in the next phase, so today we were mostly working towards the launch. That is the introduction. But next session we'll be focusing more towards the growth aspect. Next couple of sessions we'll do into that aspect. I hope this webinar will be helpful for you. So keep watching this series. If you want to register for next sessions, the link is in the description. Just go and fill that link form, and I'll make sure that you get the notification for all the webinar in this series. And if you want to get more information, more learning, subscribe the channel and hit the like button. Thank you. Thanks for joining, and looking forward for the further sessions. Thank you.